Hi everyone and welcome to another video. No, I haven't moved to Norway. This is still London, believe it or not. Yes, it's been quite harsh weather lately. Today it feels warm, it's only 4 degrees and I've been riding to work in -7, -4. Today we are here for the second installment of our videos dedicated to traffic riding. The title for today's video is The Line. Yes, because we will look into how to maintain a predictable line, straight line when it's needed, and how to adjust the line for any obstacles, cars, overtaking, where the aim is, as always, be as safe as possible on the road. Make sure that you got a functional bike, helmets on, lights on. These are my usual recommendation. We already looked at how to balance yourself on the bike, getting the best control in different situations, but it's time to hit the road. And first of all, yes, you need to learn how to go straight. Yes, I hear you thanking me for this insightful advice, but it's not as easy as you might think. Yes, going straight on a predictable line, not being affected by the cars moving close to you, overtaking you, is a quite difficult skill to learn. So this would be the first exercise for you, to find a quieter road, ideally with no cars parked, because that would be a next step up in terms of difficulties. So a nice straight road where you can try to make your ride as predictable, as straight as possible, not riding too close to the edge of the road, on the left in this case, because you do have the painted lines, they are slippery, the road is dirty or sometimes cracked. At first it's not easy to get used to the sound of the cars or lorries, sometimes very close. Unfortunately, close passes are in big cities the norm. My advice is, of course, to stay calm. You do need to make sure that your line is as straight as possible, avoid any movements. The safest possible situation is for you to keep going without any deviation. The next step up would be for you to regulate the flow. And by your position and your line on the road, you need to regulate the flow to avoid finding yourself in a dangerous situation. When there's an obstacle on the road, you do need to engage the center of the lane, and in this case you do need to regulate the traffic and the flow coming behind you. Always assume there's someone behind you. Don't move without having checked. Always think there's a car behind you, even if you don't hear it. Might be an electric car, might be a scooter, might be another bicycle. Always check behind your shoulder. The key for me here is to move as soon as possible, comparing to the relative speed that you have on the road, to make sure that cars behind are fully aware of what your position is going to be on the road to avoid the obstacle. Don't wait to the last second to move towards the center. You want to anticipate moving towards the center much earlier to stop cars coming too close to you when you need to do the maneuver. If we want to draw a triangle, this should be your ideal line, and not waiting too close to make the move. As soon as you made the overtake, there's no obstacles anymore, you can turn left again so the traffic behind you can flow easily afterwards. You don't want to be in approaching obstacles on the road, restrictions on the road, where you are too open to passing traffic, to close pass, almost invite an open space to be filled. We want to avoid that at all costs. A lot of anticipation is needed. Look much forward to read the road and move much earlier than you will normally do. Soon you will be riding on roads where you have a line of cars parked on the side, and you will need to have a decision with a trade-off between riding close to the side of the road and not to be in the middle of the road too much. And depending on the width of the lane, there will be a decision based on the individual situation. Always assume that someone is going to open that door and not look at you while riding. You have to be ready to brake suddenly if someone opens the door without looking. This is one of the most common accidents that might occur on the road. And especially what you want to avoid is someone opens the door, you swerve into the road, and there's a car or a lorry behind coming, so with inevitable tragic consequences. So if the door opens, you do need to be prepared to brake on straight line. Evasive maneuver, if there's a vehicle behind, is very, very risky. When there's a gap between a line of parked cars, you need to judge based on your speed whether it's convenient for you to go back to the side of the road and then come out again, because in that moment you might leave the door open for someone to try to overtake you, and might not be the best possible situation. So sometimes it's much better to keep the line straight and keep overtaking the parked cars. Yes, behind you they will throw in even more abuse at you, but in that case everyone will be in a safest possible situation. Your line is also crucial when you need to turn left or right, so moving towards the direction where you want to turn will indicate to the drivers behind where you need to go even before indicating. I've seen so many riders waiting for the last second to then stick the hand out and they go the opposite direction from the position in the lane, and that again is very confusing for the cars behind you. To summarize, the line is essential for your safety on the road. Stay calm, learn how to deal with passing traffic. The noise of the cars and the lorries coming close are quite frightening. Try to maintain the cool much as you can. Next, try to stay as predictable as you can from the cars coming from behind. The earliest you show your movement, understandable for everyone, the safest you will be on the road. Let me know in your comment the suggestion that you might have, what I might add to the next videos. The aim is again to be as safe as possible in perfect harmony with the other road users, ideally, and have a pleasant journey. Thank you very much for watching. I see you to the next video. Ciao. Now I need to go and clean the bike that is all salty and dirty. Unbelievable.